We begin tonight with 4 sheriffs from our state suing Governor Bob Ferguson over a law that can decertify sitting sheriffs from their jobs. Last week, Governor Ferguson signed Senate Bill 5974 into law. The law adds oversight for elected sheriffs, including background checks and decertification rules. But a recently filed lawsuit argues the law violates the Constitution by giving an unelected board the ability to remove a seated sheriff. Supporters of the law say it modernizes standards across the state to keep up with the times, holding sheriffs accountable. When the governor signed the bill into law last week, he voiced his support, but he added he had some reservations.
Under this bill, sheriffs and police chiefs who are decertified are removed from office. I do have some reservations about the process for creating a vacancy. I've had good conversations with the sponsor and other legislators as well about that, and we'll probably be doing a little work on the interim. But the main message today is this is a great bill.
We reached out to the governor's office for comment on the lawsuit, and they referred us to his comments from that bill signing ceremony. The plaintiffs for the lawsuit include sheriffs from Spokane County, Pend Oreille County, Stevens County, and Ferry County. We're happy to be joined by one of the sheriffs represented in this lawsuit, Pend Oreille Sheriff Glenn Blakeslee. Thank you for being here, Sheriff.
My pleasure.
So before we get into the lawsuit, what was your reaction when the legislature passed SB 5974 and sent it to the governor's desk?
Disappointment. I've been doing law enforcement a long time. I'm starting on my 28th year, and I've seen a lot of things change. To me, it's not so much the standards, so much that I'm disappointed in, but what I feel is silencing the voice of the people. The people vote in sheriffs, and they vote out sheriffs. And I think that's their job to do, not the legislature.
Well, on that note, what do you and the other 3 sheriffs hope is the outcome of this lawsuit specifically?
Well, we're trying to keep the lawsuit concentrated on the constitutional issues, what we believe are violations of the Washington state constitution. And it really says that the power belongs to the people. The people should be able to decide who their elected officials are. They should vote them into office. And if there's issues, there are remedies to have us removed from office. I don't like the idea of having the appointed positions in Burien or Olympia making that decision for our citizens.
Now, there are several parts of this law dealing with other things besides removal of a sheriff, like age requirements and added restrictions for volunteers. What are your thoughts on these alternate elements in the law?
There are many elements that I don't particularly care for. When it comes to limited commissions, I give limited commissions to our court security staff. They're not necessarily law enforcement background individuals, so I may or may not be able to do that going forward. I give limited commissions to my jail staff to be able to visit with people, or to meet with people who come into our front lobby to turn themselves in on warrants. They go do that instead of having to call a deputy off the street. Again, I may not be able to do that. So just minor examples of how some of these other restrictions may affect my ability to do my job and the costs that it incurs for our citizens.
Have you spoken to Governor Bob Ferguson about this law?
I have not personally. We've had representatives from our Sheriff's Association and the WASPIC have had conversations, apparently not as productive as we were hoping.
What's your response to supporters who say this law is about being able to hold sheriffs accountable?
I have no problems with sheriffs being accountable. The question is how, and there are remedies already in the Constitution, the state Constitution, that tell us how that's supposed to happen. That power belongs to the people, and it should remain with the people.
Sheriff, did you guys see this coming at all? What was the initial reaction, and did you think that you guys would be at this stage right now?
We were hoping we wouldn't be at this stage. You follow the legislature, you see trends in things. We saw it coming. We've had a lot of input into it. We've encouraged our citizens to weigh in on it. Thousands of people did weigh in on this bill, and the vast majority of them were opposed to it. So we've had a good response from our public and from us as law enforcement, letting the legislature know what our opinions were. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough.
Are you guys going to keep pushing this issue?
Yes.
Okay, Sheriff. Thank you for your time.